I'm excited about the topic today. I'm excited to talk to you about the difference between 7-figure business owners and those who are stuck at 6 figures or less, even those who get stuck in multiple 6 figures. Listen, I quite often have people come to me who have been at $700,000, $300,000, $500,000, $200,000 in revenue over and over again for year after year after year, at least 3 years in a row, who can't quite seem how to get to that next level of revenue and income, who can't quite seem to go from 700 to the $1 million mark, who can't quite seem to get from 200K to 300K. So today, I want to share with you one of my secret weapons to actually doing that. My secret weapon that makes the difference between you having a business that's hovering at 100K or 6 figures that can actually create 6-figure months. Okay. So welcome. And I am rocking my new glasses. I'm loving these. These are actually turning into my favorite. I didn't think they were going to look this dope, but they do. So I'm going to jump right into this because I think it's super, this is going to be a really powerful conversation today. And I'm not going to be here long. So, which is what every preacher says before they give you a 3-hour sermon, but I'm gonna try not to be a preacher today. How about that? Can I try not to be a preacher? All right, so I'm gonna dive into this. I'm pulling up my notes. So recently, I've had a couple of applications come across my desk and people inquiring to work with me. And one of the things they've been asking, I'll tell you why this is happening, first of all. So normally I do organic marketing, which means people have time with me, time with my content before they ever reach out to work with me. And so it's less like trying to get to know who I am. And it is more of them saying, hey, I'm ready to go. So lately we've been running Facebook ads. And because we've been running Facebook ads, I am seeing a little more lukewarm traffic come across me and apply to work with me. And so I'm getting questions like, what strategies do you use or teach in order for people to create those incredible results that you're always talking about? What marketing strategies, what platforms do you teach about? And can I tell you this? If you're asking those types of questions when you're deciding to work with somebody, it's absolutely irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant. That's not what you should be focused on. Here's why. Because my clients, they use all kinds of strategies to create results. So, and they get this. I teach this. They get this. They don't want a cookie cutter approach. They don't want to, they don't want my philosophy or my process for getting a result that doesn't apply to them. It doesn't work. So I want you to understand this. I have clients who are doing 6-figure months. I have clients who are doing more than they made in a year in 90 days. Many of them are doing that. And they're doing all sorts of different things. They're doing what feels aligned to them. So some of my clients do launches. Some of them don't. Others just do a handful of posts on social medias, while others focus on live streaming or webinars or speaking or podcasts. Some of them love Instagram and will swear by it. Some of them are in love with Facebook. Others use LinkedIn. And there's a few that are swearing by Clubhouse right now to generate the leads. What I want you to get and understand that it doesn't matter what strategy, platform, it does not matter. What I'm about to share with you today matters most and matters more than that. I often will tell my clients, once you get this thing down that I'm telling you, you can literally turn on a live stream and burp and say all the wrong things and get people throwing credit cards at your face. As my friend Molly Mahoney always says, have a $10,000 client, have a $100,000 a month. This matters most, not should I be on Clubhouse right now? Should I be on Facebook right now? What strategies are currently working to get clients? So again, if you're a person who's answering those questions, I want to tell you, asking those questions, I want to tell you, you're currently focused on the wrong thing and I want you to shift. Okay. So while my clients are all over the place, some launch, some don't. Some do push cycles, some don't. Right? Some do challenges, some don't. Some do posts on social media, some do live streams and focus on that. Others focus on speaking, like I said earlier. Yet most of them, or many of them, are making more in 90 days than they used to make in an entire year with a lot less effort. Did you guys get that? With more ease, way more ease and way more flow, way more Netflix and chill. Okay? And it's because they understand what I'm about to share with you. Here's the deal. I find this like over obsession that most people have with strategy and which platform to use keeps most people stuck at their current level of play. Wherever you're at, you're hovering there because you're focused on the wrong thing. And I get it. I used to be that way too. Like, what's next? Do I need to learn Facebook ads? Do I need to learn this? As a matter of fact, we were cracking up with my Facebook ads team because we were looking at some of the funnels I do have in place. And can I tell you that all the funnels that I have in place are not complete funnels? They only have the front end, and they may have an email on the back of it. They may not have an email on the back of it. Yeah, you're talking to this chick that did $1 million month last year. My business is over $1.5 million in business, right? So I'm living proof. I'm a walking, talking billboard for done is better than perfect, progress over perfection, and all of those things. And I just focus on the strategy that works well for me, not the strategy that works well for the next guru or person that's out there that's helping them to create results. And I want you to really, really get this. So what I want you to understand is this. It's not about the action that you're taking. It is about who you are being inside of those actions. I'm going to say that one more time. And I know I say this often, but I really, really want you to get this. It's not about the action. It's about who you're being inside of the action. And there's a couple of elements that are required in order for any action you take, any platform that you're on to work. Let me prove this to you. Okay. I am not a fan of Clubhouse. There's a lot of things about the platform that I don't like. It just doesn't resonate with me. Part of it is the element of control, right? But I'm not a fan of Clubhouse. Have I been on it? Yes. As a matter of fact, I've only been on 3 times. The very first time I went on Clubhouse was because a client wanted to interview me about my $1 million month. So I did it. Can I tell you, from that one Clubhouse, I made $90,000? One Clubhouse, yet I'm still not over there, right? There is an energy to it that doesn't resonate with who I be at this moment. Maybe something will change. Maybe I'll get a great divine download of an idea of how to use it. But just because everybody else is doing it, I'm not swimming over there and running to go do it. I'm here and it's still working, right? We're still doing 6-figure months. We're still doing what we're doing right here on this platform that works well for me, okay? So I want you to get this. You got to get this certainty of this knowing. It doesn't matter what platform you're on, it will work. So because I have this certainty and this knowing, I jumped on Clubhouse and I was still able to make money. Okay. Not a little bit of money, a lot of money. So there's that. And it came within one of the sales came within 48 hours and the other one came within 3 weeks. Right. So it was 2 sales. They both stayed at Clubhouses where they engaged with me, where they had time to spend to talk with me. And it turned into almost 6 figures in revenue just from that one Clubhouse. That's not because Clubhouse is an amazing platform. It is because I am certain. It is because I am clear about my purpose. I'm clear about my messaging. I'm clear. I know that I know that I know that I know that I know who I am. Let me fix this because it's going to bother me more than it's going to bother you. This is me trying to do double duty and be dressed for the gym and work at the same time. All right. So let's dive into this. What it's really about. So I'm going to say this one more time. It's not about the action you're taking. It's about who you're being inside of the action, right? It's about the dominant resonance or vibration of your offering and how you show up. If you're not certain that you can create a result, people will not buy from you. I don't care how you look on the platform. This is why people with amazing brands who look incredible, because that's what they spent their focus and their time and attention on, are still searching for clients. Listen, I have sales coaches who reach out to work with me who don't have sales, but their brand is on point. They've got logos, they've got all the things, right? It's not about that facade. It's about the reverberance of you knowing you can do what you say you can do. And that when people invest with you for themselves to get that result, that you know that you can support them. When you don't have that, and here's why I'm sharing this, because so many people think it is about the actions that you take. And yet what you're doing, the reason why I brought up the sales coach people is because you're a sales coach, but what you're doing is you're teaching a sales strategy that you learned from another sales coach or business coach somewhere else, not something that you know like the back of your hand, not something that you eat, drink, sleep, and breathe, which is why it's difficult for you to sell it. See, this thing that I do, it is me. It's who I be by divine design. It is not a program that I made up from somebody else. I don't care what anybody says. I do me. And that's why it's easy for me to create results with my clients, badass results. And that's why it's easy for me to sell, and I'm not killing myself to do it. Okay? So I want you to get that. We don't Google what we sell. And I know in this day and age where people are sharing with you that everybody should have a business and you need to be responsible for yourself. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Some people need to keep their jobs. Everyone is not wired to be an entrepreneur or a business owner. And I'm just going to keep it real, which is why so many people struggle to try to build a business, because what they end up doing is creating a business that is actually just a mirror of the job they used to have. So they create a job where they sit at their desk all day. Entrepreneurs and business owners are taking risk, leveraging money, making decisions and running businesses, not creating a job. I am not trying to sit at my desk for 40 hours a week. That's what we're doing. And so some of us are cut from that cloth while others are not. Sometimes you got to cut it and realize when that's not you. It's not you if you're leaning on looking at somebody else's program to make sure that yours works. It's not you if you don't have a skill set that you know like the back of your hand, that you know is valuable, that people will pay you for. You know, I cannot tell you how often people come to me and they want me to not just design a program, like help them put a package together, but they want me to show them or teach them how to create a result. I'm like, no, boo, you have to come to me with that. I am the expert at what I do, not the expert at what you do. So I want you to check in with yourself right now, because this is the first spot where your certainty and your self-esteem and your confidence gets siphoned. It's why when you get on a sales call, I'm gonna move something around. It's why when you get on a sales call, you get afraid to make the offer. You're not sure what to say in your content and your marketing, because you're afraid that you don't know what the hell you're doing. And if that's you, you likely don't. So sometimes it's just a small shift in what you should be selling, right? And I'm using should very loosely because I don't believe in shoulds, because that's what gets us into this problem in the first place, which is we think we should be selling what everyone else is buying. I crack up at how often I see things like 100K month, 10K months, all those things, because people see someone who's really good at it, share it, and then they go, oh, that's what people are buying right now. I'm like, how do you sell something you've never been able to create? How do you sell something you can't do? You can't, which is why you struggle to get clients. So the first thing is sell that thing that you know like the back of your hand. And I'm going to say this, and I say it all the time. The thing that comes the easiest to you is the thing you should get paid the most to do. There's a dichotomy to that. It's a cognitive dissonance for most people because it is so freaking easy. You're like, who's going to pay me for that? It's so freaking easy. You sometimes can feel a little, I don't know what the word is I want to use. Not bad, but you feel like you're taking candy from a baby because it feels like you didn't have to work for it. But here's what I want you to understand. When it comes to the thing that comes easiest to you, the reason why it's easy is because you had time under tension with it. It's easy now. It wasn't easy when you started. It wasn't easy when you were first getting the knowing of how to do it down, but because you've had years with it, some of you decades with it, and it doesn't take that much for you. You're like, it has to be harder than this. So you go Googling and trying to find something to sell for 50K. When that thing that comes easiest to you, people will pay you 50K for it all freaking day long. Why? Because it's your zone of genius and not theirs. And they want an authority and an expert, right? So that's that first spot that you want to be in, is you want to have that clarity, right? One, I'm an entrepreneur, but that clarity and that certainty about the thing that you're selling, meaning sell the thing that comes the easiest to you. Sell the thing that you know like the back of your hand, not what you think is going to sell because other people are selling it. That's the first thing, okay? So it's about the dominant resonance of who you're being, and that certainty. When it resonates, that's what people are buying. They're buying your belief. They're buying your certainty. They're investing in the fact that you know that you know that you know that if you tell them that you're going to teach them how to walk on water, and you have all this proof that you've showed other people how to walk on water, that when they're done in 90 days, 6 months, a year, however long your program is, they likely will be walking on water as well. You with me? Oops, I clicked the wrong button. That was funny. All right. So that's the first thing I want to share. And then there's a couple of more things I want to share, and then we'll be done. A lot of you are so focused on the action. So remember, it's about who you're being inside of the action. So it's that vibration, right? Like attracts like, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But you think that if I do all these things, then I will get all these results. And so you're out here just doing and doing and doing, and you're repeatedly doing and doing all day. And you think, okay, if I'm doing $50,000 months, then I need to do double what I'm doing right now to get to $100,000 months. And then all you get is exhausted, and you're trying to figure out, how the hell does this work? I don't have any more time. I'm exhausted, and you're focused on the doing. I want to give you a paradigm shift that changes everything. Okay, because what you're doing isn't currently producing the results that you want, because it's not a vibrational match for the desired result. Okay, it is steeped and rooted in lack, in the fact that you don't have 100K months, in the fact that you need 5 more clients that want to pay you $30,000 or whatever it is. You're focused on the lack instead of the certainty that it's done. So here is the paradigm shift that I want to share, that we use, the philosophy we use in my camp, that flips this on its head. Lean in and listen, because you likely haven't heard this before. So it's going to take a little while to resonate and to get in. Okay. I love one of my clients, Karen, right now. She just has clients and leads showing up, and she's doing less. She's actually taking vacation time and pulling out of her business, instead of just saying that she is, while still kind of working on the side to make sure, quote unquote, things get done. She's like, oh, shoot, this actually works, right? So this is what it is, okay? Your action is not what creates the result. You know, we grew up with this paradigm of hard work equals success. Well, the action is not what creates the result. The action is actually the receiver. The action is what we take that receives the results, which is why we want to take intentional action that is in alignment with the desired result, like whole resonance, vibrational alignment. I'm doing this because I know for a fact that this is where my clients lie, right? So the action is the receiver. So what's the creator? What creates the results that we want? This is where I'm going to blow your mind. Decision. When you decide a thing, and I mean like wholeheartedly decide, not like tiptoe, I would like it. Oh, this would be great if, but I have all this stuff in my mind. To decide means to cut off all else, right? So when you make a decision that I'm going to do 100K months, and you give in to allowing and making room for the eventuality of it happening, you actually speed up the time frame in which it comes to you. So when you decide a thing, you actually create it. It's created the moment you decide. It's a done deal. Every time you go back and forth, can I do it? You are undeciding and deciding again, thus pushing back the time frame and the timeline with which it can happen and come to you. Did you get that? Did you catch it? So once you decide, it is created. It is done. It's there. It exists. Then the action we take in alignment with that decision and that knowing and that certainty is what we use to go receive our 100K months, to go receive our $1 million business, to go receive our $30,000 clients, our $15,000, $20,000, $10,000 clients. So the decision is the creator. The decision is the creation tool. Action is the receiver. I'm not even going to say not the other way around. You're not taking action to create 100K months. That's what gets you exhausted. You're taking action to receive the 100K months you decided that were already yours. Okay? That's a huge paradigm shift. That's why, at least I would say really close to 90, probably not 90%, but let's say 85% of the work that I do is around shifting your identity, your self-leadership, your leadership in your business, your leadership of yourself, elevating your mindset and your state of being, as opposed to creating your high ticket offer or refining your high ticket offer, figuring out what you're going to charge for it, the marketing and the lead gen and the sales part. That stuff is the easy part. But the real work is mastering who you be while you're doing it, mastering the awareness of how you show up when you say you're creating X in your business and you don't see it with your eyes. Just had this conversation with my mastermind yesterday. You got to be aware of the conversations that you're having with yourself that push that timeline back because you're deciding and undeciding, deciding and undeciding, and you're wavering. And I know this sounds like airy fairy woo woo. It is not. This is the methodology that I teach, and it's what I do that creates these results. And I create a high level of results, right? Not just in dollar amounts with people, but the amount of rapid expansion and massive money my clients are able to receive in a faster time frame than they ever have is because of what I'm sharing with you right now. And what I'm sharing with you right now has the capacity to change everything for you if you lean into it. Okay? Breaking through to your next level doesn't come from doing more. It comes from being more powerful, being more aware, being more certain. Caught that one too? All right. So contrary to popular belief, the difference between those who are able to seemingly just show up and do 6-figure months or create a 7-figure business and those who are just stuck at 6 figures a year or less has nothing to do with hard work. It has nothing to do with the size of your audience or your experience, etc. I want to share this story with you. I like to share myself as an example because I am a person who not only has done this with myself, but I do it with my clients as well, right? Let me get this lipstick off my teeth. Got it. I don't have a huge list, guys. Somebody made a reference to that on a call when I shared what my results have been because they were approaching me as if, I was running a 6-figure a year business or something like that, and that they were giving me an opportunity on this platform and, sharing with me some names of people that they thought I would be excited to be on the platform with, which I wasn't, but that's a whole nother story. I won't get into that. And so as I'm sharing with them, here's my results and here's what I do with my clients. Here's my results for this year, which I'll be honest and tell you they were more than that person's results as well. They go, oh, wow, with the size of your following and list, that's incredible. So I'm like, okay, that just showed me that you put value in the size of your list, right? But here I am working less, creating more and creating more impact because there's a ripple effect to showing the people that work with me how to create a massive amount of revenue. There is a ripple effect. There is a legacy to this thing. We are building dynasties. We are not just building regular businesses. If that's what you want to do, you can do that, but that's not what we do, right? We are shifting the wealth code for future generations. We're changing things. We're shifting it in our DNA so that we know how to create money and use that money for good, right? And so my list is like 3,000 people now. At the beginning of the year, it was only like 1,000, 1,500. It would vacillate. If you're watching me right now, I think we got about 16 people on live, right? There's not hundreds of people watching me live right now. I'm not caught up in that. But yet you're still looking at a woman who's done over $1.5 million in revenue in her business. You're still looking at a woman who did a live event with 125 incredible souls in a room that was almost $800,000 in revenue by itself, just the live event in the room. Because what I'm telling you is the truth of what matters more than those other things. Okay? And so I want you to get this, because what this means is closing the gap between where you are and where you know you should be faster and easier than you think is tied up into what I'm sharing with you. This one thing, it's tied up into the being. I have a client right now that I was actually smiling at because this morning she posted, we just started a round of Play Big and she posted in the group, she got her first sale. So she's the first one on the board. I need to go in there and celebrate her. And she got a $5,000 client. And I remember last year when she hired me, that was not a thing for her in her life. She was doing this same work for $500. And as a matter of fact, the same exact program structure is a little bit different. We actually pulled some things out of it that she was doing for 500, and now people are happily paying her 500. And I wish I can pull up I'm going to pull it up. The meme that was posted in the group about charging more, because I want you to understand, I'm going to pull it up, that charging more isn't just about slapping zeros on it. It's not about duping people into paying you more money or finding the people who have the money to pay you. It's about the resonance of who you're being. She was being a person who thought that her work was valued at $500. Now she thinks about sales differently. She would be worried about whether or not people would want to pay her that much. She would be worried about if they're going to like her, if she would tell them that they're not qualified for a program. She's no longer thinking those things. Give me a second. I'm going to pull this up because I think it's relevant to this being part that I'm talking about. Play Big 14. Can you believe I'm in the 14th round of Play Big? Speaks to repetition, repetition, repetition. All right, I just want to pull this meme up. I think that's the group it was posted in. It might have been posted in another group. Y'all hang with me for a minute. I'm going to find this thing. I think it was in my mastermind. So Next Level Authority, which is my mastermind, by the way. It's a year-long mentorship with me. Sometimes Facebook be hide and post too. So you're looking for stuff and you can't find it. Shoot. All right. I'm sad because I really want to share this with you guys. It was something to the effect of $500 clients are like, all right, I'm putting this investment in you and me and us, and it's going to change our lives, and basically like putting all this pressure on you. So we need to create results and we need to create them fast. And $5,000 clients are like, I sent you the money. What's next? And it's so true. But the way that you attract clients who are like that is this resonance of certainty within yourself and making sure that you're selling something that you know that you can deliver. It's about who you're being. Okay. If you're trying to figure out how to get more money into your life, not just more clients, but allow more money in, and you're like, I don't have any more hours in the day. And again, we're conditioned to believe that doing is what produces the results. But what I want you to understand about money, and this is the last thing I'm going to share before we wrap up today, is that money is energy. Everything is energy. And money is an energy. It has an energy. So what does that mean? That means it's not really created. It's attracted. Like the amount of money that's in circulation is in circulation right now. It just, who is it going to? Right? And again, it goes back to who you be. So if everything you do is rooted in lack, I don't have, right? Everything you do is complaining and moaning and these clients, I hate these clients. I hate who's showing up on my sales calls instead of being focused on the ones that are showing up are the ones that you do have that are incredible. What happens is you lower your vibrational frequency and resonance. And so what you attract is the amount of money that's resonant with that. For some, it's zero. For some, it's a couple of $100s. For some, it's, a few $100,000. So that frequency is what you're attracting. And so you can only have that capacity with which your resonance and your frequency will allow. So what do? You have to up the frequency. So I'm going to talk about some ways you can do that really quickly that are practical, and you will see how this changes. So one, we don't focus on lack. We focus on what is going well, what we do have, who is showing up, and all of those things. Because what that does is it raises that vibrational frequency so that you're excited and happy. And it's a frequency. This is what I want to explain. One is a frequency of contraction and less. The other one is a frequency of expansion. And so two different frequencies can't remain in the same spot. This is why people who are elevating, or even people who are going in a downward spiral, after a while, you have to cut ties with people who you thought were friends and different things like that, because you can't remain in their space. I have a client right now who has a roommate, and as she keeps elevating and elevating, I'm like, oh, shoot, your roommate's about to leave. She can't remain in the space, right? So there's like I can't explain it, but there's a video where they have all of these different jewels, or not jewels, they are stones. What am I trying to say? Rock, stones. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Anyway, they have them all in different colors, and they put them by each other. They drop them into this little system, right? And the little system has little grooves and edges, and it falls down into it. And they're all different colors: yellow, blue, pink, red, white. They're all in there, and they drop them in various different places, just in bunches, all down. And what happens when they get down to the end is all of the pinks end up in the same place. All of the whites end up in the same place. All of the blues end up in the same place. Why? Because frequency. Like attracts like. Like attracts like. You don't get what you want. You get who you are. You don't get the kind of client you desire. You get the kind of client that you're being. It's just the way that it works. So you want to be in this frequency of expansion, which is love, excitement, fun, happiness, all of those things, not stress, worry, strife, pushing, driving. All of that's contraction, not expansion. Right? So your frequency matters. So how do you shift it? Aside from focusing on what's going well instead of what's going wrong, community. Surround yourself around people who are at the level that you want to be, because guess what? Their frequency is at that level as well. So what will happen is, hopefully, they will raise your frequency as well. And then you'll see more money start to flow into your life. I've seen this time and time again as I invest in higher level programs. This past year, I invested in a 6-figure a year program. You better think I did $1 million a month, because there's people around me who are doing $1 million every single month. I am not yet there yet, right? I'm not there yet. However, they increased my frequency so fast that it was like, okay, here's a peek of what that would look like, right? So surrounding yourself around people who are at that higher level of frequency and vibration. And how do you do that? You got to stop investing in $500 programs, because in $500 programs, you're in there with complainers and $500 people who are attracting $500 clients to them. People come to me all the time, and they're like, I'm only in this container and I'm doing, $2,000, $5,000 a month, and I'm the highest level person. It's frequency, right? It's frequency. So your community matters. And how do you get into community? I have to invest in communities, right? There's a threshold, there's an invitation, there's an application, there's a bar. I invest in communities where my frequency is being raised. What was the other thing I wanted to share with you? Community. That was it. Those were the biggest thing. Oh, wait, there's one more. The last thing I want to share with you is you got to change your relationship to money, not in a way where most people share. So most people will share with you that you got to change your relationship to money about what you think, what do your parents think about money, and all of those things. For me, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is change your perception of what you believe is a lot of money. You have to change your perception to what you believe is a lot of money. When I thought 6 figures was a huge amount of money, it was hard for me to bring 6 figures into my life. Right? The more I started getting intimate with business and realizing that a 6-figure business, if you're doing 6 figures, $120,000 a year or less, you're basically working minimum wage for your business. That's minimum wage for business owners, right? Because you're still looking for the next client. And so there's a frequency that comes with that, right? We work hard for that money. The more money I make, I'm realizing the less I'm working. Especially in the normal, traditional driving kind of way. And I'm able to bring in 6 figures more rapidly. So when you see me talk about 100K slay and I'm talking about 6 figures, because people will ask me this all the time. They're like, well, I'm already at 6 figures. I don't think you can help me. I'm not talking about 6 figures a year, boo. I'm talking about 6 figures a month, 6 figures in a sale, 6 figures in a day. What we're doing is we're learning how to master 6 figures so much so that we collapse time and we can create it any time we freaking desire. That is what I'm talking about, right? So when you change your relationship to money, you realize that once you create a thing, you have the makings in your DNA to create it again. So if you've created 6 figures in your lifetime, even if it's been over the course of a few years, you actually have the knowing and the wisdom of how to create it again, what you need is that container, that space, and that knowing of how to collapse time around doing it faster and faster and faster, right? So we want to shift your relationship to what you believe is a lot of money. Someone asked on Facebook the other day if I would take $2 million and move out of this country and never come back again. I don't think I ever answered it, but I'm going to answer it right now. My answer is hail to the no. No, because $2 million is not a lot of money. I remember when I used to think that it was. I'm like, it's a decent amount. It's a decent start. You know, maybe I could take that 2 million and create something else, but I would not take $2 million. Like, I would have to ask questions and never come back because it's not enough. It's not enough for me to be able to fly my family out whenever I want for my lifetime. It's not enough for me to make sure that I have the life that I have here, there, right? So you got to shift what you believe is a lot of money. Begin to make that shift. Begin to think about the reality of it. Not just that you don't have 6 figures a month and, oh my gosh, that would be a lot. Anything you put on a pedestal, you put it far away from you. And the further it is from you, you're actually pushing it away. So you need to see that it's plausible and possible that you can do it too. The moment you do that, you actually bring it closer to you. You've changed your relationship to what you believe is a lot of money. That changes things, right? So I'm like, okay, what's the step for me? Who do I need to become to welcome $1 million a month into my life and into my business? And that's what I'm on the journey to doing. My desire over the next few years is to help 1 million people become millionaires, because even though everyone has a desire to be a millionaire, not very many people do it. And it's because the way to do it, the doors get closed. It's not shared publicly. There's a mass pendulum societal thinking that makes you think things like hard work. The harder you work, the more you'll make. That's what the rich people want you to believe. Right? People with money who own those businesses that you're working for, they want you to have that as a paradigm for yourself, because that's how they make money. You are working for them and they will reward you, but you're getting the bottom half of the pie. So we want to flip that stuff on its head. So my desire is to bring money to the masses, right? So that people who would never even conceive of themselves being multimillionaires become multimillionaires. And I want to help 1 million people do that. Here's my invitation for you. That's all I have for you today. This one a little bit longer than I thought it was going to go, even though I only had short notes. My invitation to you is I am doing the 100K month blueprint. I'm going to edit this and put it up. If you would like a seat to join me this month for the 100K month blueprint masterclass, where I'm going to teach you, we're going to go deeper on some of these principles that I'm talking about. 100K month blueprint. What you want to type in the comment section is 100K blueprint. If you type 100K blueprint, my team and I will be reaching out to you as soon as everything is ready. And inviting you to the secret location where the class will be held. You're welcome. So that's what you want to put on. So for the 100K month blueprint masterclass, this is for the person who wants to go deeper in the concepts that I've shared with you today. And like, you really, really want to understand. You want to understand how to activate your capacity to receive more money fast, to receive massive sums of money faster than you ever dreamed possible. You know, I know that a lot of people are like, oh, that's a get rich quick scheme. I'm like, no, for me, it's a get rich quick strategy. I'm teaching people to change their relationship to time and money, right? We want to bring massive amounts of money in fast, and a steady flow of clients who gladly pay you $10,000, $30,000, $50,000, and to be able to deliver your services powerfully without working yourself to the bone, right? Without creating massive burnout and overwhelm. You want to join me for this training. So 100K month blueprint. Here's the thing. This isn't just for you if you're already on the verge of 100K months, right? What I understand and what I get is that the women and the men that come and show up that are attractive to me, they know they have big purpose and big vision. They know that 100K months or more is where they desire. They're creating this dynasty business. They're using their vehicle as a business or as a tool They're using their business as a vehicle and a tool to shift the wealth code for future generations of their family. What that means is what I'm going to teach you, no matter where you are, is how to master the art of the 100K sleigh. And the 100K sleigh is learning how to create 100K and then learning how to collapse time behind it to do it faster, faster, and faster with certainty and with power. Okay, so just type 100K blueprint and we will reach out to you most likely in Facebook Messenger with the link, the secret location for the class. I believe this class is coming up in a couple of weeks on Tuesday. But that's what you want to type, 100K blueprint, and we will get you that invitation to spend a couple of hours with me, kind of distilling down some of this stuff and looking at what does it really take for you to become the type of person who does 100K months. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my show, my channel. Here's what I want you to do. If you really love what you've been listening to, I want you to subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. No, really, leave a comment. Like right now. I'm not gonna stop talking until you leave a comment. Seriously, leave a comment.